Today's scripture comes from Mark 10:21 through 22. Jesus looked him hard in the eye and loved him. He said, "There's one thing left. Go sell whatever you own and give it to the poor. All your wealth will then be heavenly wealth, and come follow me." The man's face clouded over. This was the last thing he expected to hear, and he walked off with a heavy heart. He was holding on tight to a lot of things and not about to let go. This year, we have all become familiar with wearing a mask. It is not out of our norm now, and we wear them for protection to keep us from being vulnerable to germs. And with Halloween around the corner, traditional masks are also popping up in stores. These masks are a lot more fun than our COVID mask, as they allow us to disguise who we are and pretend to be something we aren't. But today, we're talking about a different mask most of us wear, the mask of perfection. The mask that says, "Look, I have it all together." This mask allows us to disguise who we truly are and in some ways protects us from the judgment of others. But ultimately, this mask allows us to fake it. So, are you faking it? Do you appear one way on the outside and a different way on the inside? Truthfully, there are gaps in all of our souls. It can be a daily battle, and on the surface we may look a certain way, but in our hearts feel totally different. We might think, "I'm just glad they don't know what I'm really thinking or feeling on the inside." Or we think, "Thank goodness the outside can cover up the inside." Sometimes this even leaks into our daily lives. We want others to think we are better than we are. We get pulled into the trap of posing, looking good and impressing others. And when we compete, we slip into performing for others instead of glorifying God. We become posers. We become experts of covering up our true selves because we think people won't like who we really are. We actually believe the fake version of us is what people want. We think that faking it covers the hurts, fears, wounds, and gaps. The bad stuff gets conveniently tucked away. But God has a way of slicing through all of that. Everything changes when God's touch cuts through the surface and pierces the heart. His touch grips our souls and exposes our gaps. You can't play it safe when it comes to following Christ. Nowhere in Scripture does Jesus encourage us to surrender our lives to Him so that life will get easier. The Lord's call touches the very thing we don't want to give up. He finds the one thing that hurts the most. In Mark 10:17 through 22, Jesus basically says, "Hey, rich man, give up your wealth and follow me." The rich man went away sad because he pinpointed the very thing that the man wanted to hold back. The issue wasn't that he was rich, but that his wealth got in the way of his following Christ. We all have something that gets in the way of our loving Jesus the way we should. His touch pierces our heart because he knows the very thing that prevents us from following hard after him. The real question is not whether we have something that holds us back, but what are we doing about it? We need to examine the thing that gets in the way from being all in with Jesus. And in your own life, what is the thing that is constantly holding you back from experiencing Christ's power? Identify it. God's touch can heal it. What would it look like for God to reach in and heal that one thing in your life? How different would life be? No more faking, no more posing, no more covering up. Let Him set you free today and remove the mask of perfection.